I write this symbolically, like where the 20 is? How do I write that symbolically? Here's how we start writing it. You're going to see an A with a little number down. Anybody know officially what that number is called? Chemistry people down below. Subscript. Yes, subscript. You'll see a subscript there. That number tells you what term you're working on. So A3 tells you I'm in the third term of the sequence. That represents whatever the third term is, that subscript. All right, so again, if I put A10, what term am I working with? 10th term in the sequence. And it's always, I don't know why, but it's always the lowercase a. Now, that's one version of notation. The other version, you'll see an F with a parenthesis and a number inside. That's another way we could establish where it is in the sequence. So these two right here mean the same thing. That's the third term. We're going to see both. Okay, we're going to see both. All right, so stick with my 2, 11, 20, 29, and 38 sequence. What's the fourth term of this sequence? And we're going to write it correctly as well. What's the fourth term of that sequence? No surprises here. 10, who's got 10? Fourth term? 29. And then now I'm just not going to write 29. A4, or how else could I write it? F of 4 equals 29. Questions? We said it had a pattern, right? Okay, what's the seventh term then? What's the seventh term? Establish the pattern, use it to find the seventh term. When you're ready, seventh term. 5. What's my seventh term here? 56. A7 equals 56. Let's get in the habit of writing it symbolically. Any issues on how we found 56? Or how we're writing these? All right, let's do a little calculations with them now. But before we do that, that's coming up. I'm getting ahead of myself. I need you to add a column here before we start. To the left of given term, can you guys write in for me term before? Just want to make sure we get all the notation down before we move on. All right, I'm going to tell you what term we're on. So we're on the fourth term. What was the term before it then? Would be? A3. Third term. I just want to make sure we can write it. And the term after the fourth term? A5, the fifth term. Yep. All right, perfect. And that's no problem. But here's the issue. We're not just going to be dealing with just the numbers. I'm going to put some variables in there now. So if I'm on AN, any term, it doesn't matter. 5th, 6th, 10th, doesn't matter. Any term. How do you think I would write the term before that then? If that's A with a subscript of N, how do you think I go before that? How do I write that one? A with a subscript of what? N minus 1. Yep. And what about the term in front of it then? If I'm on AN, what would be the term in front of it? A, what would be my subscript here? Little help. Oh, 1, little help. Got it. Just back in business, like riding a bike. All right, let's see if I can confuse you. N plus 1 is the term I'm on. That's where we're currently on. How would I write the term before that? A with what subscript? I'm on N plus 1. I want to go before that. It's all right. I just don't have numbers for a reason. N, yep. It's all right. People want to show off. And what about the term in front of it, after it? 4. N plus 2. Can't get anything by you. Good work. All right, let's keep rolling. N plus 4. That's the term I'm on. N plus 4. So the previous term, the term before that, would have been written how? 14, A. I'm on +4, so I'm going to go backwards.
So it'd be +3.
You got it, yeah. Why are you nervous, Jerry? You're fine. Confidence. How about the term after? 6. How about the term after? N. Yep. All right, we're picking this up. Now I just want to turn the tables and just go to the other notation. I just didn't want to expose you to the A's. I want to also expose you to the F of. So if I'm on F of 6, the 6th term before that, let's roll. 15. F of. No 15. No 15. All right. 1. Amanda, F of 5. And you want to do the term ahead of it too, F of 7. Good. Any questions yet? All right, what if I'm on F of N, the nth term? What's the term before it? 7, F of? Well, I don't want to do this. All right, I don't want to do that because there's no such thing as a negative term here. I want to do what? N.
N minus
1. Good. N minus 1. And the term ahead of it. Let's keep this going. 4, term ahead of it. Yeah, don't get ahead of me there, Achiever. Yeah, don't get ahead of me. Respect. And then finally, what if I'm on N plus 1? Go backwards 1. It should be what? F of 16. N. And what about the one ahead of it?
N plus 2.
Good job, Howard. And why are we doing that table? You'll see in about 3 minutes. Why that table is so important, that you understand whatever term we're on, how to get to the term before it. All right. All right, now let's do a little calculations with the sequences. So I'm giving you a new sequence up at the top, 1, 7, 13, etc. Part A, A2 plus A6. Hey, this is an A8. That's not how we add these, A8. What's A2 telling me? That's the what? So it's telling me take the second term and add it to the what? 6. It's not telling me find the 8th term. That's not how we do it. It's saying find the second term, add it to the 6th term. So 1, Amanda, what is my second term?
7.
And the 6th term?
31.
There you go. That's what it's asking me for. All right, everyone? Don't get that confused. It's not looking for the 8th term. Take the second term, add it to the 6th, 38. What's part B asking me here for? 16. What's part B asking me? Take the
4th term
and add it to?
2 times the 6th term.
Let's do it. Let's do it. And when you're ready doing that calculation, I just need the final answer here. 1, Amanda, you're on fire today. 81. Any issues? All right, next up. Now I'm going to put n in there, but I'm telling you what the value of n is. So if I substitute in, I'm asking for the first one's what? Find A. What's the value of n? 7. Yeah, plug it in. What's the 7th term plus the, when I plug 7 in here, it becomes, I'm looking for what term? 4, yeah. So add your 7th and your 4th term. And when you get that, let me know. 5. When you're ready. 90. 93. What's the 7th term? 37, right? What's the 4th term was 19?
Yeah.
So what do you got now?
56.
All right, we're on the right page now. Good. Questions? because here comes the meat of the notes today. This was all just making sure you guys understand notation. Now here comes the meat. Tell me what the pattern is and how do I write it? Okay? Tell me what the pattern is and how do I write it? All right. I'll go over all this as we're doing a problem. I just want to get right into the fire. Here's my sequence. The old classic 10, 15, 20, 25. What's f of 6? Everyone can do that, hopefully. F of 6. What am I really asking for here? In your own words, I'm asking for find the sixth term. Go ahead. F of 6. You don't even have to find it. Just look for it. 15. What's the sixth term up here? We don't have one today, right? How about 10?
30.
30? 30? Think we want to count over again?
35.
35, all right. I like that a little better. Okay, now I'm going to introduce you to a formula today called a recursive formula. This is how you tell me in mathematical notation what the pattern is. There are two parts to a recursive formula, two. If you're asked to write a recursive formula, you must always tell me in the correct notation what the first term is. What's my first term in the sequence? 10. And we know how to write it, right? A with a subscript of 1 equals 10. That's the first part, the easiest part. You have to tell me where we're starting. Here's the tougher part, and I got to work with you on today. What's the pattern and how do I write it? What's the pattern to this sequence? In your own words, what's the pattern? Add 5. What do I add 5 to? How did I get the 15? I add 5 to what? 10. How did I get the 30? I add 5 to the previous term. So you're telling me the pattern is add 5 to the previous term. Good? Now how do I write that? Okay, how do I write that? Here's where I'm going to start. A subscript n, which means the term we're on right now, equals, now think back to the chart we just did. If I'm on A subscript n, how do I write the previous term then? Go back and look if you have to. If the given term I'm on is an, how do I write the previous term? A with a subscript of what? 8? N minus 1. And what did you guys tell me I do? So show me, clearly not in this bottom, that I'm adding 5 to the previous term. See how that worked? So if you want to find any given term, keep reading with me. You take what's this represent? Previous term and add 5. All good. All right, whoa. The one great thing about this is I could write this differently. Say you're not feeling an. Say, all right, I'm on an plus 1 now. How would you write the previous term now? Think about our table. How would you write the previous term now? A with a subscript of n, right? Same exact things. Those two mean the same exact. Darn it, take the previous term and add 5. All right, that's what a recursive formula is. You tell me where we're starting and what I'm doing to the previous term to get to the next. Questions? Because one doesn't make you great. Questions? Another one. You guys go ahead and do the calculation in part A for me, and I'll help you write the recursive formula. So go ahead, do A2 plus 3 times A4. When you have it, let me know. No rush. 13, when you have it, let me know. $78. Good, Cindy. Good work. 78. Do you see before we write this, do you see the pattern? Because if you don't see the pattern, we're not even going to bother writing this. Do you see the pattern here? I tried to make the first couple pretty easy, recognizing the pattern. All right, recursive formula. So now you're thinking two parts. The first one's the easiest, which is what? Tell me the first term. It's the easiest part of a recurse. Tell me what the first term is. First term is 3. Done. Second part. What do I do to the previous to get to the next term? First, tell me in your own words before we write it. 15? We don't have one. 8?
Multiply by 2.
Multiply the previous term by 2. So now you got to make a decision. I always start with, I know, that's always my go-to, AN. I showed you could have started with n plus 1. It doesn't matter what your go-to is. But this matters now. Whatever term you're currently on, you better write the previous term correctly. So if I'm on AN, what's my previous term then? 5, what's my previous term? A, n minus 1. And was it you, Nora, that just told me the pattern? What's the pattern again?
Multiply the previous term by 2.
So show me you're multiplying the previous by 2. How? Where do you want to put the 2? You could do this. I'm okay with that. But where do we usually see the 2? In. Yeah, you're darn right. There you go. That's fine. So 2 times the previous. How are we feeling about this recursive? Because I'm going to go backwards on you now. I'll provide the formula. You give me the terms. All right, you give me the numbers. All right, let's see. Let's see how well we're feeling. Here's a recursive formula up here with you. Recursive formula. Using it, find the first 5 terms. All right, so term number 1. What's the first term in the sequence? Don't make this more complicated. I got to give it to you. It's already up there. What's the first term in this sequence? Oh, 8. What's the first term?
Minus 2.
-2. Done. All right, stay with me here and ask questions. How do I figure out what the second term is going to be? I use my rule here. Ready? If you're on a term, if you want to find a certain term, you take the, what's this notation for here? What's this notation for? F of n minus 1. That's the last term, or I like to call it the previous term. So if you want to find a term, you take the previous one and do what with it? Add 5. So how do I find the second term? Take to what? Previous term, -2, and add 5. That's how I keep finding my terms. Previous, add 5. So I end up with 3.
3. Oh,
This guy.
that's like the
Second week in a row. Yeah, this is good. Yeah. But you're focused in. You're locked in. That's what I love, though. You're locked in. I'll take. You want to do this one?
Sure.
All right. How do I find the third term? I take previous, which was,
3.
and add.
5.
Good. So I end up with 8. How many terms did it ask me to find?
5.
5. Okay, so I got to find a couple more. So fourth term. 13. How do I find the next term? Which was 8, and there you go. Once you figure out by looking at the formula what the pattern is, you're good. You're good. And then finally, the last term, the 5th term. How do I find that one? 9. How do I find this 5th term? Oh, time's up. No, not in here. 13. Who's got 13? Where we don't have a 13 today. Oh, hi, Sydney. How you doing? Don't get rattled. I know there's a lot going on, a lot of sensory going on. How do I find the 5th term? Here you go. All right. Anybody want to take care of that before I put a hole through it?
I double check. That's not. I don't think it's me.
You want to check
Timer? Anybody?
so we want to check 23. It's the blue one, it's Craig.
I think it might be.
Thank you, Dave.
Oh, it's just gonna be muted for 10 minutes.
Did you press snooze or stop?
Let's stop.
Okay, good.
Okay, anyway. Moving on. All right, find the first four terms now. And all I did, well, actually, I'm not even going to tell you what I did. What's the first term? 7. What's my first term of this sequence in exercise 4? 5. Done. Now I got to find the second term using this recursive rule. And hey, I just used different notation. It's still the same. I'm on n plus 1, so an must be the previous term. And honestly, guys, I don't care what notation I use. You always know that should be the previous term you're using. All right, always going to be using the previous term. So how do I find the second term here? Go through that formula with me. 2 times what? 2 times
5.
previous term, and then you got to do a little extra here, right, Clayton?
Yeah.
And then I got to
Um,
keep reading the formula. 2 times the previous, and then do what? Add 7 to it. That's what I got to do every time. Take the previous times 2, add 7. Yeah, I know. Don't worry about that. I took that off of yours not to confuse you. Relax. Worry about your alarms going off. Here. Like you got somewhere to go. Yeah, I know. You're a popular dude. Yep. How do I find the third term? 4.
Multiply the 17 by 2 and 7.
2 times previous 17 plus 7 again. 41. And then for find the first 4 terms. All right, so I got one more left. 14. How do I find that last one?
Oh, that's 41 times 17.
What?
Or no, 2 times 41.
Don't get rattled. Plus
Plus 7. And that is 89.
Here we go. 5, 17, 41, 89. There's my sequence. How are we feeling here? Taking the previous term. Because I got a couple. These last 2 are a little bit more of a challenge. Anything? You ready to dive into it then? Last 2, and then we'll go into delta math. All right, let's do it. Ooh, only 3 terms. That's not bad. What's the first term here? 10, first term. Yep, there you go. Everyone, you're welcome, right? All right. I'm going to walk through with somebody right now how to find the second term using that formula, because there's just something a little different in that formula we haven't had yet. 5, who's got 5? Ready to roll? Perfect. Take 5 times, what's this little thing here mean for us in this one? That's the previous, which is? Okay, everyone's out. We're all on board, right? Because I'm getting to the new part right now. 5 times the previous term plus 2 times now. Take a look. Just n. Did I put an a with it? No, so I'm not looking for a term here. Ready? The n all by itself is the term you are currently on. The term you are on. So Alexis, I'll go back to you. What term are we finding right now? Second term, 2. Okay, so the n without the a means you plug in the term we're currently looking for, which in this case would be 2. Second term. All good? Previous term, term we're currently on. So this would be negative 10, negative 6. All right, let's see who's got the last term, the third term. 9. Who's got 9? 9? We don't have a 9 here today? 9, are we sure? Going once? Okay. First time that came up. I know we don't have that. 6? 6? Hold on, right? I'll walk this through. I'm just walking it through here with me. Ready? Third term is going to be 5 times the previous term plus 2. No A with this end, so that's the term I'm on. Times 3. Okay, n by itself is just the term we are on. And then now you guys got it. Negative 30 and 6. What's that? Negative 24 here. So is everyone all right? When we just see the n, that's the term we're on. Now,
Explain the 3 again.
how do I get 3? Okay, ready? I'm going to use the rule with you here, Jared. 5 times my previous term. If I'm on this one right here, what was my previous term? Negative 6. So 5 times the previous term plus 2 times n all by itself means the term we're on right now. What term are we finding? So I put the 3 there. Third, 3 for third. Okay? Everyone else all good? And then I threw a little change up in there because I got to challenge you guys coming up Regents in January. Solid 3.5 months away. 5 terms. Find the first 5 terms. Ooh, look what I did here too. First time I gave you this. What is the first term in this sequence? 7, first term in this sequence?
4.
Yep. And you're welcome. Maybe not. What's the second term in this sequence? Already also given to you. 4? Yep. So now you guys have to help me find the 3rd, 4th, and 5th before we end class here. So I will walk somebody through how to find the 3rd term. Ready? Who's up? 10? Who's got 10? Jane, all right, here we go. Let's use this formula to find the 3rd term. So to find a given term, you take the, what do you think that represents? What's it been representing today? Go ahead, look at our sequence. What's the previous term?
3x.
Great job. So everyone good? I'm going to take 3x, add it to, keep reading, 4. Now, what do we think here? If that's the previous, what do you think n minus 2 is?
2, like A1.
The previous? The term before the term?
Yeah.
Everyone agree? Whatever you want to call it, which would be what?
A4.
There you go. Okay. Previous term, the term before the term. So my 3rd term is going to be 3x plus 16. Previous, whatever you like. I like the term before the term. 8. Who's up with 8? All right, ready? So ready. Previous term,
3x plus 16.
the one we just found, 3x plus 16, plus 4 times the previous.
3x.
3x, yep. Any confusion? Are we good? Multiply 4 and 3x and then combine your likes. So what do we end up with there? 15x plus 16. And then let's finish this strong, somebody. Find the 5th and final term with me. 9. There is none. One more try. 6. Ready to roll here. So 5th term. Previous, which was?
15x
Plus
16
16 plus 4 times the previous, which would have been?
3x plus 16.
Yep, so everyone make sure you please distribute 4 before combining your like terms. And I'm looking at 27x plus 80. All good? Okay, next step, next stop. Delta Math, assignment 2.1. For those of you who may not have been here last week, for the code, there's the code right up on the screen right there, the 8T7T. So if you haven't logged in on our class on Delta Math, do so now and get going on the assignment. I provided pages after, line pages after. What's up? Yep, right here under in the shelves here. Just make sure they get back.
Your microphone will have up to my mic.
Again, codes on the top of the screen there.